Wow. Wonders never cease to amaze me. You know, Wonders just never cease to amaze me. And he has done it again. I'm talking about the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I say, wonders just never cease to amaze me. Now he now's got 130 goals for his country. He scored a fine double, which I would say it was a very classy performance from Portugal. That's how you sign off before you go to the Euro 2024. It was actually a comfortable victory for them over the Republic of Ireland in Aveiro. Okay? And, it was the Barcelona winger that opened the scoring. I'm talking about João Felix. He opened the scoring for a much-changed Portugal side in the first half. He did so well to curl home after the host caught Republic of Ireland out with a short corner, right? And from that particular moment in time, it was all Portugal. Ronaldo then fired an unstoppable effort into the top corner early in the second half and doubled his tally with a sweeping finish on the hour mark. And once again, compliments goes to Roberto Martinez. It's a perfect send-off for him, and it's a perfect send-off for Roberto Martinez's side in their last warm-up game before their Euro 2024 opener against the Czech Republic on the 18th of June. And to say the least, it was actually a difficult evening for the Irish. They fell to a second defeat under their interim manager, John O'Shea, the legend himself. And let's begin. Where do we begin? We begin with the first 45 minutes, okay? It was perhaps like a frantic start in Aveiro. The Republic of Ireland, they were looking to build upon their first, victory. Their first victory under John O'Shea, which was basically that 2-1 friendly victory against Hungary at the Aviva Stadium last week. And it was a much tougher ask for O'Shea's side in Aveiro. With Portugal looking dangerous during the early exchanges, João Cancelo, the first man, who actually fashioned an opportunity from the left wing on 9 minutes, finding Rafael Leao, who cushioned the ball back to Felix, with his shot being blocked by Liam Scales. And Leao then slipped in the Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes as he weaved past a diving, Callaghan Kelleher before seeing his shot from a tight angle being blocked by Jake O'Brien. It was a crazy start. Frantic start. Portugal made their intentions clear from the get-go, from the very first whistle. Kelleher was called into action on 17 minutes after a slick Portugal move, which did start with Bruno Fernandes and ended with Bruno Fernandes. He fed Ronaldo, who found the run of Diego Dallo, and despite being in a favorable position in the box, the winger opted to pull it back to Felix, whose first time low strike was actually turned behind by the foot of Kelleher. So it was actually... Things were actually going as according to plan for Portugal, right? And it went perfectly as expected, for the hosts. Because, we all knew that Portugal were going to dominate this particular game, right? Not to say that we were underestimating Ireland whatsoever, but we knew that, Portugal were going to dominate this particular game. The fact is, the Liverpool goalkeeper Kelleher, he looked very good, when he was called upon early on. He was very powerless, to actually prevent Portugal's opener. As his teammates, they just completely switched off. And we knew that because we could see the Irish defense they were caught napping. Lapse of concentration. It was a quick corner. Give credit to João Cancelo. He took a quick corner, setting up, Bruno Fernandes. He spotted Felix unmarked in the box, and Felix was just left unmarked. There was no one that picked him out. And guess what happened? We know. I guess, I'm not sure if he's still going to return to Atletico because Barcelona haven't, said anything about making the deal permanent, right? But hopefully he will return. He will, remain at the Camp Nou, But it was actually a trademark free kick, from Ronaldo, which also deflected off Adam Ida in the wall and then rattled the far post as Portugal pressed for a second. But, to say the least, Republic of Ireland did, manage, to... What can I say? They managed a sustained period of possession, in the Portugal half, with Ida lashing the ball into the side netting from an acute angle. I mean, that was the only sort of real, threat that we did see from the Irish, right? And at the other end, Rafael Leao, he did ever so well, playing according to his strengths. We know what he does very best. We've seen him doing it so many times for the Rossoneri, cutting inside from the left, flashing an effort, you understand, towards goal. And this time, unfortunately, it was just wide off the far post. And on the other hand, Ronaldo was incensed at having a penalty appeal waved away after he was pushed over clumsily in the box by Robbie Brady. But, of course, man, the referee remained unmoved. You understand? I don't think there was actually VAR in this particular friendly game, because I've seen in other friendlies there was VAR, especially in the one between USA as well as Brazil, and also the game between USA and Colombia not so long ago, where the Colombians did trash the United States of America by 5-1. But back to this encounter between Portugal and the Republic of Ireland. Again, as you take it back, after that penalty incident, okay, Portugal was still dominant. And Gonzalo Inacio, he was actually guilty of missing a huge opportunity, right, to actually double Portugal's advantage in the first half injury time. And which was just unfortunate that he headed it very wide from, and that was a brilliant Fernandes cross, to say the least. It was a brilliant Bruno Fernandes cross, but he just headed the ball very wide. But hey, guess what, man? The second goal did eventually come, and guess who? We all know, Cristiano Ronaldo, without a doubt. I mean, the Republic of Ireland, would have been relieved, to say the least, to actually, go in the break only one down, but an even more punishing second half was to follow, as Portugal refused to let up despite, a host of changes at the break. Ronaldo produced a moment of magic once again, just like 5 minutes after the restart, as, the substitute Ruben Neves clipped the ball into the 39-year-old, and he did a double step over to get past Scales before angling a shot into the top corner with his left foot. He still has it in him, guys. That's why you can never write him off. These two, Lionel Messi as well as Cristiano Ronaldo, are the type of players you can never write them off. You just can never. I mean, that was a proper goal. That was a brilliant goal, well taken. Curling in Portugal's third on 60 minutes as the host capitalized on a tiring Republic side. And, Diogo Jota also poked the ball to Ronaldo inside the box and swept the ball first time into the top corner for his 130th international goal. In a rare for a rare forward, for O'Shea's side, substitute Tom Cannon almost marked his debut with a goal. But unfortunately, he just fired wide after racing through. And, from that particular moment in time, we can just say the goalkeeper, Kelleher, he managed to make fine saves, denying Bruno Fernandes, whose dipping strike was actually turned behind, before Ronaldo uncharacteristically fired wide from close range in a search for a hat-trick. But look, Portugal head into the Euros with optimism from this particular moment in time. And the Republic of Ireland will hope to have a permanent manager in place for the next game against England in the Nations League in September. So basically, O'Shea is also in contention to land the job. But we wait and see. Right. So as we continue, we proceed, we go straight to the United States of America, the Continental Classico that took place between, obviously, the USA as well as five-time world champions, Brazil. Well, first things first, the United States of America, they did return to action, following that terrible performance. Indeed, it was a terrible, terrible performance against Colombia. A terrible performance indeed. But I can say, surprisingly, it was actually a better performance against Brazil. And indeed, this team, they held against, one of the world's best teams. And they even created so many chances to actually take the lead. Even though the match was deadlocked, it ended in a 1-1 draw, right? I can just say that, the United States of America had a much better performance and they looked prepared, to actually compete in the Copa America. Because coming into this one, the United States made, they set up some changes, as the coach Ricardo Pepi, he started up Yunus Musa in the midfield, and Yunus Musa was very pivotal in the United States' performance. I mean, what a great performance that was, But let's just say it, the Americans were more organized and they were more intentional going forward against Brazil. Still, I would say it would be something of a repeat of those kinds of goals that the team was, giving up against, Colombia, that gave their opponents the lead. And it was like a turnover of a goal kick in the midfield, which was quickly transitioned by Brazil. And then Rodrigo managed to put the visitors, ahead in the 17th minute. That was a great pass. I mean, one thing people don't give credit to Rafinha. What a great pass that was. That was a fantastic through ball that he played to set up, the Real Madrid man, Rodrigo. From that particular point onwards, the Americans were behind, right? But surprisingly and astonishingly, they actually showed a lot of fight in the match. That was like rewarded when a free kick was awarded to the United States of America and it set up Christian Pulisic sneaking it into the Brazilian goal. I mean, what a great goal that was, man. Take nothing away from Christian Pulisic. That was a great goal. And whereas like the teams ended the half at 1 goal apiece, the United States looked more competitive with one of the top teams in the world. For the first 20 minutes, or so of the second 45 minutes, Brazil kept most of the possession and seemed unbothered by the Stars and Stripes. But look, man, that was up until the 64th minute when Folarin, Balogun, replaced Ricardo Pepi, and then John Cardosa, came in for Gio Reyna. And in the 68th minute, Pulisic got on the end of a through ball that he fired at goal, but Alisson did so well to actually keep the ball out of the net. And while both teams would have chances, it never seemed as though either team was actually going to find the breakthrough. Defensively, the United States of America, they stayed very organized and they handled the technical skills shown by Brazil very well. Because the visitors, they had so many chances, but give credit to the goalkeeper, Matt Turner, he made so many saves. You understand? He made so many saves. Denying Vinicius, denying Rodrigo, denying Paqueta, denying Enrique. You understand? He made so many saves. Plenty of saves were made by the United States goalkeeper. I mean, what a great performance that was. Wonderful, fantastic performance.